Milestone 3, Task 2, and Nicole, you have made a composite image by combining two of your self-portraits, one which is a portrait of your face, and then the other one with the background. You've done quite a complex process here and experimented, and so you've come a long way as far as learning this process. Just going to talk to you a little bit about clearing it, keeping it a little bit cleaner than it was. When we look at your fur as you submitted it, I hope I don't lose all my, I did a lot of different changes to show you. And I get rid of your background. We can see that you had a little bit of issue with working on your file that's on the top, because that's where all the masking has to do. So I'm just going to make some suggestions on it. Now, as I look at your image, you actually got rid of part of the image, and the whole idea of masking is that it's non-destructive. So you mask it, then you can always go back and get it back, because I think you have a shoulder or something in here that would probably balance out the image a little bit better. And so that's gone, so we can't put that back. You could put it back because you have your Photoshop. Also, there's certain areas on here that are a little bit, they're thin, that the transparency came through. And this edge isn't very defined. So we need to use other tools, such as the pen tool, or our polygon lasso tool, or even the quick selection tool, to select the edges so that you can, when you mask it, it masks around it. Also around the edges of the hair. So I'm going to go back into, hopefully my history is still there. And I've done quite a few things on here. I actually got rid of your layer and I added my own. Couldn't work over it. And now if we look at getting rid of our background, we can see that the hair is a little bit cleaner here, and this is more defined. Now in defining that, what happened? So all I have to do to add this back in is white. I go on to my mask, and I just paint it back in. And you could do that on any of the areas actually that got really thin. This is another area we can paint back in, but this is an area that, because you got rid of it, there's nothing there. It just has white in the backdrop, so there's not much I can do to help you with that. But all around the edge of the hair here, it's if I take black, it's black gets rid of, and white adds. So anything I want to get rid of, I don't want it too sharp of an edge. But your jacket, as you can see, it's a nice defined edge. It isn't so rough. We can come in here then too, and you see how this is, just paint this back in white, okay? Anything can be painted back in. So you go back and forth until you get it the way you want it. There's many ways of doing things in Photoshop. It's quite a versatile program. And now we add your backdrops. And you can see how much cleaner the image is from where you started. And although sometimes it's not real obvious to look at, if you looked at it really close, say it was made into a big print, you might have the tree in the background showing through. Here too, because you montaged your pictures, you got two pictures the same, you can see that it's quite evident. Not much you can do with layers, but what you will be able to do is when you flatten the image, you can flatten the image and then do some of this tool. I'm going to show it to you right here. And this is your stamping tool, the clone stamp tool. And then that you can then clone stamp. I'm not going to get into that in this image. But you know, you have a nice picture. I think that the shoulder, whatever is here, I think it's a little bit of shoulder and hair, is probably would be good to have in this particular image. You could also do a little detail to get the clouds back in, but I mean it's getting pretty specific. But I think you've got a great start if you want to just clean it up a little bit like I showed you, painting in and out of some of those areas that you have, defining your area by using a tool, even this polygon tool would help. And then you go back and forth and feather it and things like that so that you can get a nice edge on that particular image. So any questions, please feel free to ask.